To the Daily Mirror, another week, another chat. It is chat session 129 and I am with Miss Corina Charlin. Topic, overcoming expectations, embracing creativity and living authentically at any age. Hello and welcome, Miss Corina.
How you going, Cathy? It's nice to be here.
How are you?
I'm good today, really good.
Good. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here, be my guest and to share your story. And what a broad and interesting story, amazing story, and to be 65 now, let's just say. Everyone that's looked at the photos this week, all my family and friends are like, no way, she can't be 65. It's I know, amazing. Good for you.
Well, it's funny, I actually I used to go to a dermatologist to get skin checks when I was living up in Byron Bay, and he was looking at me one day and he was examining me, and he looked up and he had these glasses with big magnifying lenses on them, and he looked through this big, one of those glasses that make your eyes look really big, and he goes, it's very strange. And he went back down to started looking over my body again. I'm just standing there going, what's very strange? And he stopped again and he looked up and he goes, I said, what's very strange? And he looks up and he goes, you appear to be aging in reverse.
Oh, nice. I'll take it.
Yeah, I did. I happily paid him because I thought, that's the best money I can give to a medical professional. It gives me that sort of...
Oh, wow. No, you look great. You should, you definitely look... You don't look your age, so, yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, I think it's just been, I don't know, healthy living.
Yeah, nice.
Not smoking, not drinking, and just, exercising, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you doing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that we're going to give you this opportunity today to showcase you, Miss Corina, and share your story. I've read your blog story at www.thedailymirror.cathy.com. If you haven't read Miss Corina's story, please read it. Yeah, I love reading stories like this. You've travelled far and wide, and, I just love that you've found your feet here on the Mornington Peninsula. I love how you've integrated into the community, and you love the sound bar, and we're going to talk all about that later and what you're doing there. But prior to that, it's been a journey.
It has, and it was only actually writing it when you said, can you write your blog story? I started writing it and I sort of got to the end of it and I went, wow. It sort of amazed myself because I'd sort of forgotten a lot of things, the twists and turns that happen, when you live your life. And I was like, wow, it was, and I remember going to a psychologist and he even said to me, before I transitioned, I had to go see a psychologist, and he was going like, wow, you've lived a different life, haven't you? And I thought, I suppose I have, like I didn't, yeah.
Did you find it, a little bit therapeutic, like just sort
writing
of...
the blog?
Yeah,
it did.
Bit of a trip down memory lane.
It was, and all memories started coming back that I'd sort of forgotten, and I thought, actually, these sort of memories, they were sort of instrumental in a way, of how I lived and how I changed my direction. So it was really good writing the blog. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's what most people have said when they've written their blog, because they say you don't often think about your life's journey so much, or go back in time and then have to put it into words and thoughts and then present it. And a lot of people have said it's been quite nice to be able to do that and share their personal journey, but for them it's also been a nice experience as well.
Yeah, it was a bit strange writing it in third person. That was a bit weird, but I got into it in the end.
Yeah, well, I guess when people are reading it from our end, that's why we write it in. Well, you write in third person. Yeah. You are obviously talking about yourself, but I know what you mean. You're writing it in that third person context, so it makes it a little bit like, but you did well.
But that makes you look at it
I love what
too.
You did. I said to you, you're a bit of a brainiac, aren't you? I think you are.
I am, but the funny thing is I did really poorly in English and English literature. And
really?
Many people have told me, you write a really good letter, and so that's strange not strange when I think about it, but school is not always the best education system for people, I don't think, and that's always a reflection for me that I did bad in English, poorly, and yet I love writing. And I write songs, so...
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
Well, let's go back in time for all our listeners today, because obviously you know your story and I know your story. Born in 1960, age 13, you auditioned and were accepted into Fremantle John Curtin College of the Arts, which offered theatre, arts and dance subjects for gifted and talented students. So you were obviously naturally gifted and talented?
Well, I don't know who directed me to do that. I think it must have been someone at primary school, because in primary school I was in like the school choir and different sort of drama things there. I think someone must have said, "Oh, you should go here," and so I went there and auditioned. And
Did you love that?
I absolutely loved it. It was an incredible experience because the people it was the first year they did it at John Curtin, and one of the first schools in Australia that did it. And the people that they got in to teach us were like, they weren't just normal teachers. They were people that working in the arts industry, respected, directors and dance people, and we did all sorts of stuff: modern dance, drama on stage, fencing, mime, learning phonetic languages, and all this sort of stuff that was just...
It was very it sounds really creative.
It was incredible. It was incredible. It was incredible. It was all after school activities, not during school hours. And we were all sort of looked at as the bit of the weirdos at the school, the special people sort of. But yeah, it was fantastic doing that.
It's good to be special, eh? It's absolutely amazing to be special. So after 2 years, you moved to community school?
That's right.
At Dalkeith House in Fremantle?
That's right, and that was a different school. I mean, John Curtin was a normal high school, but community school was like have you heard of like Lance Holt, those sort of type of schools?
There's a couple here in Melbourne, like community schools, where they're a little bit more inclusive, alternative, like just a little bit different. And I actually love what they represent and what they stand for.
Well, that one...
If it's similar to the one I'm thinking about, there's one in Brunswick here in Melbourne.
Is.
Yeah.
The one in Fremantle, though, that was the first of its kind in Australia, as far as yeah. And it was just like the teachers wore no shoes. It was like bare feet teachers, and no school uniform. There was guitars everywhere. And there was no set sort of curriculum. You'd go, at the beginning of the week, you'd say, what do I want? What are my goals for this week? And you'd write out things you wanted to learn, and it could be anything, and then you'd give it to the teacher there, and they go, oh, yeah, well, that's a good goals for this week. And it didn't have to be maths and English and science. It could be anything.
They were just your goals.
Yeah, your goals,
nice.
Whatever it might be. And that's why I was able, during that time, to go down to the Fremantle markets and busk during school hours. I said, this is a good thing for me to do, to play the guitar down at the Fremantle markets at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Friday.
How cool.
And you could go down there and do it, and they allowed that sort of stuff. And I mean, there was people, I think it was an expensive school to go to, and there were like such a diverse group of people there, from really coming from wealthy families, but also people that were like sort of, I don't know, just crazy people, just, that like set themselves on fire, and it was just a crazy school. There was all sorts there, and my eyes just went like, wow.
Eyes wide open.
Yeah, the world is full of so many different sorts of people, and you can do whatever you want, just sort of like, and there's gay people there, and it wasn't an issue like a normal high school. It was just like, it was an incredible... We used to go surfing down at the beach in this big yellow double-decker bus. It was just it was an incredible school,
Sounded like it was quite free.
It was so free, Cathy.
Yeah.
It opened... I was only there for 2 years, but those 2 years changed my life. They just opened my eyes to what was possible in the world.
Amazing. What a great experience.
It was incredible. But it was only there when 2 years there, and I realised actually I want to be good at maths. I knew I was good at maths, and I thought I can't do it in this environment. I need to be in more of a regular environment. So that's when I decided to go to a normal school, repeat a year, and do 2 years there and just go maths, and that's sort of what I did. So,
so that was where we were going. Like, so you repeated year 11 and at a traditional school.
Yeah.
So you transitioned out of that free, liberated school into mainstream.
Yeah. Still had my really long hair. Still had my hair down to my bum.
Yeah, the photos were gorgeous, beautiful hair, gorgeous.
I wish I had it still.
Yeah, those photos were beautiful. Yeah, really nice. So you finished year 11 and 12, and you when I say brainiac, you were really good at maths, right? And computer, like transitioned out of there and did a degree and got a job, and like you were noticed in your workplace.
I was really... Maths came easy to me. It didn't always. I did struggle with maths when I was in first year high school, and I got a tutor for 2 nights, and he got me over this algebraic stumbling block, like the distributive property, like A outside of B plus C equals AB plus AC. I could never understand that. And he spent 2 nights, and then it clicked. And from that moment, I went from like the bottom of ordinary up to the top of advanced in about 3 or 4 weeks. And then everything, maths just was like, it was too easy. It was too easy for me. It was just like...
Well, you obviously were just gifted in that way, If
that guy hadn't tutored me, I might not have realised that. But that's why I think tutoring is really important, that one-on-one. You get inside, because I used to do it for a while, get inside someone's head and figure out where that stumbling block is, and this guy opened it up for me, and
And off you went.
Yeah, I never looked back.
So you obviously then sort of went into a workplace in that sort of field where you used those skills.
Yep.
And after a little bit of time, you found that that really wasn't for you, your passion, or you weren't, wasn't heartwarming to you.
No, it was too. Well, I mean, it was intense work. It was because it was the first year they'd done sort of like computer studies at university, and so I got right into that and realised that computers were what I loved, and so it was at that working with the computer accounting company. Yeah, it was full on. It was, long hours. You were on call 24/7. You took home one of those. I mean, this was back in the 80s. You took home like a briefcase that you'd open if there was a problem with the mainframe computer, and you'd open it up. You had to get the telephone and put it on there. And
oh my gosh, it's like the movies.
Yeah, it's like Maxwell Spark. You had a little keyboard inside your briefcase.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But that was back in the days when there was just like one big mainframe computer. You didn't have computers like this.
Yes.
At our desks, we had like dumb terminals, which meant that the actual TV screen you were looking at wasn't the computer. The computer was down in the basement, with like the whole basement was full of these big disk drives that spun around. It was the beginnings of computer technology.
Yeah.
But yeah, after doing that, and we were on call, and all of Australia was phoning in, with their problems. We were the head office, and it was just too. There were incredibly brilliant people there that were even more brilliant than me, but it was too much in my head, And
Did it become draining?
Yes, and physically draining as well. I noticed myself just starting not to look that well anymore, I didn't have time to do exercise. I just went like, wow, I'm going down, And also, you'd leave. I lived over in Manly. It was like you'd leave when it was dark, catch the ferry, then the bus to where you were going. By the time you got back, it was dark as well. So you left in the dark and you got home in the dark, and it was just like,
long day.
I can't do this forever, I can't. And I'd look at the people on the ferry going across reading the papers, and I'm going like, I can't do this for the rest of my life, This is not life.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me.
And,
and so I had to tell them, and they didn't understand it. But
Well, you have to do what you've got to do for you, right? Well, we're going to keep talking, but I think we should let our listeners know you do write music.
Yes.
You do play music.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that transition from your, youthful days into the workplace, and going and deciding that wasn't for you, and then you transitioned out of that to find Miss Corina and your little, new pathway. But you're a musician, a very talented musician.
Well,
and we're going to play at least 3 of your songs today.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know which one we're going to play
you
first.
You can choose, Cathy.
Lele.
Yeah, that's a nice song.
Tell us about Lele.
It's a song, and it came to me quite quickly. It's just about laying the joy of laying next to somebody, not doing anything else, not getting physically involved with them at all, but just laying close to someone.
Oh, nice.
That feeling, like that. Sometimes that's
comfort of just being next to someone and just lying there in your stillness and being comfortable in that moment.
And then if they're not there, and you sort of wish that they were there, just so that you could lay next to them. That's all. You're not asking for anything else. You just want to lay next to them, and that's sort of what that song's about. Just people enjoying being just next to each other in close proximity.
Well, this is Lele, everyone. Enjoy.
Llévame,
were just coming to see me quite soon. I wish that you were just coming to see me quite soon. To lay by me, lay by me, lay by me. Wish that you were just coming to see me quite soon. I wish that you were just coming to see me quite soon. To lay by me, lay by me, lay by me, lay by me.
Oh, how gorgeous was that? That was beautiful. Lele by Miss Corina. That was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I do
Gorgeous
love that song.
And I love the way you expressed what that meant to you, because I think that's truly really relatable. And you're very talented.
Thank you.
You really are. Yeah, I love that. That was gorgeous. We're going to play a couple more of your songs. For those of you who have just tuned in, I'm with Miss Corina. We're talking all things Miss Corina. Please read her blog story at www.thedailymirrorwithcathy.com. Overcoming expectations, embracing creativity and living authentically at any age. Today is a journey about Miss Corina of Heart, Head and Soul, the life story of Corina, from early talents to artistic liberation and personal truth. That's a really strong statement.
I like the way you all put that together, Cathy. I was pretty impressed.
It's, after I read the blog story and, it makes me think about you and the story and how I can sort of just put a little bit of a headline to it.
It actually cleared it up for me in a way too, because overcoming expectation, I never thought of it like that, but after reading what I'd written, and then when you wrote that, I went, yeah, that has been a big part of my life, is overcoming what everyone else expects me to do or expects me to be. And it's still, all the time. Everyone gets that, don't they? That's the thing, is everyone feels like there's an expectation on them to do certain things, behave a certain way, and sometimes, it's almost like peer group pressure. And
it happens all the time, doesn't
everyone.
it? Yeah.
And to get past that and realise, actually, I don't have to do what people think I should do. As long as I'm not hurting anybody.
Absolutely.
I can do what I want,
Well, that's the best way to live, to be your authentic self and, be kind to yourself and obviously to others. But, this world we live in, there's always so many expectations
Yeah.
and judgments and this and that and whatever. But at the end of the day, if you can just find your place within you and you can just move forward and surround yourself with like-minded people that you align with and, are respectful and you respect one another, what more can we ask for? It's not that difficult, but people just make it difficult.
And I think we put those, sometimes we create those expectations ourselves. They're not that anyone else has had expectations. We sort of imagine that we're expected to do this, or we imagine that sometimes we're not.
Yeah.
It's just our own, we're limiting ourselves from our own brains,
Absolutely.
So we have to break through our own
barriers.
Brains sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's all part of learning, isn't it? And
It
just
is.
the journey in life and the things that we're confronted with and situations and different circumstances. But that's the beauty of the journey, I always say.
Yep.
But when you can then come to that place in your life where you are living your true self and can smile and be happy within yourself, then to me that's gold.
Yeah, well,
really.
I feel like it's a continuing... that you're
always learning,
always overcoming those expectations that you either put on yourself or that other people have on you. I think it's almost never ending.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Well, you can never know enough, right?
No.
So, you went out of the whole brainiac, accounting, mathematical workplace. Take us on that next journey where you went out to sea.
Well, I did, because I just wanted to go the complete opposite. Because from being in like just a room at a desk with computer screens, I just wanted to go the complete opposite. And so I just started working on a prawn trawler and did that for the season. And then after that, I got a job. I don't know how I got that job. Someone told me about it. Where I went to work in the Great Sandy Desert, and I did that for a couple of years, and that was fantastic. It was just like out in the wide open.
That sounded wild.
It was beautiful. Oh my God! I mean, not many people. I used to think that the desert was this flat place. The desert, particularly the Great Sandy Desert in Western Australia, is not a flat place. The sand dunes are like ocean swells, and they're so high. They're can be like 20 or 30 feet high. A big hump, and it goes down to a bit of flat, and then it goes another huge hump again. Bit of flat, another huge hump. And those sand dunes, they don't move like ocean swells, they actually move like snakes. Like one end of that dune gets smaller and the other end gets bigger as the wind blows the dune along like that. But just the most beautiful place I think I've ever been was the Great Sandy Desert in Western Australia.
What an experience.
I loved it. And I loved the solitude, and I loved...
Yeah, I've read that. You said you loved it.
Standing on top of the sand dunes, and you can almost see the curve of the earth around you, and just went like... I don't know, when up there, I felt like standing on the top of those sand dunes, I felt like I was on a little point on top of the planet, and there was the whole universe out there, and I loved it.
Well, you talk about the beautiful sunrises, the dingoes, the wildcats, the camels.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah. It was incredible. Because we used to get up really early and make our cups of tea out and dig a hole and make a cup of tea, and the wild animals would come around to the fire to see what was going on. You'd see, there's some beady eyes out there, it's a dingo, or lots of wild cats, and the odd wild camel. But it was just, even though I am a gregarious person, I do love solitude, I have always been a sort of a loner. I'm a bit of a dichotomy like that, like there's the loner side of me, but also I love people. So I sort of flip between the two,
Yeah, well, that's okay. And you find the balance where you need it, when you need it. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
And how long did you do that for out in the desert?
Couple of years. Yeah.
And so after that, it was in the late 80s.
Yep.
Playing in rural backyards.
It went down to Margaret River.
Yeah, Mark, and tell us about that in the late 80s where you your popularity started to grow in this music.
Yeah, well,
scene.
I moved in with a couple of people just in a shed that was really cheap, and the guy that had a guitar, and I said, I've got a guitar up in Perth, and I said, and I've got a drum kit too, and the guy there goes, he said, I used to play in a military band just on the snare. He goes, I can't play the drums. I said, I'll get it. So I grabbed this old drum kit and my guitar and came down, and we started playing music together, and even though he kept telling me he can't play the drums, he was one of the best drummers I think I've ever played with. For a guy that kept telling me I can't play the drums.
Really?
And we just first of all, started playing at parties, backyards and stuff. And like I said in the blog, for some reason people love dancing to us. They just love dancing to our music. And they'd be there dancing, and the dirt in their backyards would be stirring up this dust on, so you couldn't even see each other. You know, I could barely see the drummer just from the dust clouds with coughing and,
oh my
and all
gosh.
the beers going everywhere. Like we'd wake up the next morning and the whole kit and all our amps and that are just covered in beer and dust, and it was just crazy. But then we started
Good
playing.
times.
Yeah, they were good times. And then we
Yeah.
started playing in the pub down there. And I remember the first day we played in the pub, we were looking at each other going like, wow, we're playing in the pub. Are we meant to be here? We're not good enough to play in the pub, you know. And it sort of just steamrolled.
Took off from there.
Yeah, because people, for some reason, people loved dancing to our music. And I think it was the drummer, actually. His drumming style just had a real roly-poly thing that people just got up and danced.
Were you writing your own music back then? It was all originals as well.
All originals.
Yeah.
And people loved dancing to us. And down there, it was easy to make money playing in music those days. I think a lot easier than now. There was lots of halls around the area that we could play in. And in Western Australia, the good thing about Western Australia, I don't know if it's like that still, but on Sundays they used to have a Sunday session. So the pubs would close at 8 p.m. on a Sunday, and there was nowhere for anyone to go after 8 p.m. on a Sunday. So we'd hire out the halls and go around to all the cars at the pubs and put stickers on there going, hey, when the pub closes at 8 p.m, drive up here to Corina Hall and we've got gigs on. And we used to get
everyone
pack those halls,
wow.
pack the halls, you know. And it was really good fun. It was good times.
Yeah, I can tell you. It's like this joy's coming out of you. It's like you're remembering it it was just such an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was. And I was in in that time, I was in like so many bands. I think at one stage I was in 4 bands at one time, in like a thrash band, a 50s, 60s cover band, another band that I was writing my original songs in, and there was another band as well that I was drumming in. So at one stage, I think I was in about 4 or 5 bands. It was just, and doing mixing down at the Settlers Tavern as well. It was just, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That's
it was
so
just
cool.
like,
does the Settlers Tavern still exist now?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's had big additions put onto it and that. I haven't been over to Margaret River for over 20 years now, I think. So I wouldn't even recognise it now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was a real farmers sort of town, farmers surfers sort of town. And we didn't really get big name acts coming down there, but it was a little bit Hicksville back in those days, you know. But
that's just how it was.
Yeah.
It's so good. See, this is the reason I love when people do write their blog stories and they're like having this experience of just remembering those times. It's awesome.
Like everyone goes Margaret River now, but back in the day then, it wasn't that well known, I don't think. It's just starting to get well known back in the 80s, yeah.
I did go there last year. It is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I hadn't been there before, but yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that you actually write also in your blog story as a sort of follow-on from what we're talking about, through everything that you'd gone through and found in your life and still finding. I love this. Some people will love what you do and some people will hate what you do. It doesn't get any better than that. That's as good as it gets for absolutely everyone. And when you realise that and really accept it, you're off on your way and heading in a good direction. Love this.
Yeah, well, look, that only came to me when I was writing the blog story, that realisation. You know, because I was thinking back to things that had happened, all the people that had said they hate my music, you know, and all that, and then other people that really loved it, you know. So I was hated and loved for my music by, you know, all sorts of different people. And then I came to that realisation when I was writing the blog for you that that's the same for everyone. No one is loved universally, you know. There's always your haters everywhere. So
yeah, but see, I read that and I find that very empowering.
Yeah,
it is, because it's so true. Yeah, isn't it?
It means you don't have to be loved by everyone, you know.
Well, it's not normal, you know. It's not going to happen, is it?
No, you just do what you love doing. Yeah. And some people will love you for it, and some people will hate you for it, and that's just fine.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. Well, we're going to keep talking all things Miss Corina and, keep letting everyone know your continued journey from those high school days to then being the mathematician in the accounting firm to then going out into the desert and working to then, following your passion in music and how that's led you into the niche. So we're going to come back in a moment. Enjoy.
Once before, long time ago, days were on the wall,
looking down below, falling in our head. There's nothing else to do. Try to fade away. I never wanna go back. I never wanna go. She's standing on the wall, a place we used to go a while. Nothing left to say, a place to say goodbye. Try to fade away. See, couldn't see the light. I never wanna go back. I never wanna go. I never wanna go back. Standing on the wall, a place we used to go a while. Nothing left to say, a place to say goodbye.
Goodbye Wall. That was Miss Corina's song. Another great track. You heard it here on the Daily Mirror at RPPFM. Welcome back, Miss Corina, and thank you for sharing your amazing music with us.
It's my pleasure, Cathy.
Thank you.
I just want to say, like, these songs that you're playing that I record, I just recorded them this week just at home. But what you're hearing here is just me with my guitar singing, just a one take. There's no bits added on or anything. If people come and see me playing down at the soundbar, for example, on the open mic nights, what they're hearing now is what they'll hear down there. There's no sort of added extras. It's just me on the guitar. It takes me a couple of takes to get something like that right, but that's what they'll get when they come and see me. Exactly.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It's raw, it's real, it's authentic, and it's you doing you.
Yeah.
Love it. So tell us about this song.
Well, this song, this is a bit of a story song because in some ways I am a storyteller. So I suppose it came to me. I knew this guy and he ended up committing suicide, and I was really trying. I didn't know him that well, but I knew him a little bit, and I knew that he was thinking of it, and I was trying to make his life. I was trying to bring joy into his life, to show him what was lovely, taking him to nice places, and he ended up committing suicide, and I just went like, wow, it didn't matter, everything. I couldn't help, and that was just a sad feeling of like, I thought I'd be able to, change his opinion, and I wasn't able to, and so that sort of song is about knowing someone that does commit suicide and just going, and I made it up a bit that I was feeling the same way, you know, that I was feeling of doing it as well, and then realising that I don't want to do it, and going, I don't want to go back to that feeling of feeling that desperate again. So that's sort of what that song's about.
Well, you did the best you could,
Yeah.
and, you know, the fact that you were trying to help your friend as much as possible, you know, that's quite beautiful in itself. I felt like when you were listening to that song, you went to a different place when I was watching you, and I wasn't sure. I was like, wonder what this song's about.
Yeah.
So you obviously, it's very heartfelt to you. Well, thank you for sharing it with us and for
pleasure.
letting us know a little bit about that story. Yeah, well, let's keep talking. The fish story, the painting, the fish story that was in the gallery that was not hung up the right way, that you got a little bit pissed off about, annoyed about, and you didn't even go to the exhibition.
No.
Because you were a little annoyed.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I did this painting, and I actually framed it. The frame of that painting I actually got from one of the halls that I used to play music at, because I helped get that hall renovated, and they had all this old timber there, and I went, I love this old timber, and I stuck it as the frame, and it had bits of old poster nails hanging out of it, and I thought it looked unreal. The person I was living with said, oh, that frame looks terrible. And I thought, no, this frame has got character, you know. And I took it down and presented it, and I had clear instructions on the back which way to hang it, you know, because it looked like a fish, and I thought we'd hang it horizontally, clear instructions, went away, came back to have a look at all the paintings, and there's my painting hung up straight with the fish pointing to the sky. And I went, who hangs a painting like that with the fish pointing up there, like it's come, like you've caught it or something? I don't know. And I went, I pulled it off, it was like Velcroed, and put it the right way, and went to the attendant and said, oh, look, someone hung my painting the wrong way. I had instructions on the back. And she goes, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I said, has it been judged yet? And she goes, I'm so sorry. They were all judged this morning. And I was like, I felt like going, part of me was going like, you know, getting a bit angry, but I didn't get angry at anybody. Thank God I didn't get angry at anyone, because there was no one to get angry at. I couldn't get angry at the attendant. It wasn't her.
You were just annoyed that it was like,
I spelt it out which way it should be hung, you know. I mean, for God's sake.
What didn't you get about that?
What else can I do? And so I went home, and I thought, I'm not going to the opening exhibition, you know, stuff. I'll just forget it, move on. It's only a painting. It's only an exhibition, you know, trying to reason all these things to make myself calm down, and sort of forgot about it. And the next morning I get a phone call from this guy I used to go to school with, actually, who was the guitar player out of the Eurogliders, Crispin Ackerman. I didn't realise he was down there staying with his parents. And he phoned me and said, oh, you won first prize last night. And I was like, oh, you could have picked my jaw off the ground, you know.
You're in shock.
Yeah, I went, what? First prize? How's that possible? It was hung the wrong way. And so I won first prize, and it made me realise, like I wrote in the blog story there, is that even when you think that, and I've noticed this at different times in my life since, a lot of times, that even when you think that something bad has happened to you, that you have no way of knowing where that's going to lead, you know. In the end, I should be thanking the person that hung it the wrong way, because I won first prize, I won a bit of money, and it made me feel good about painting, and I had no idea. And that's happened to me. I mean, that painting has actually taught me that lesson twice, because years later I wanted to move to South Africa, and I thought, I'm going to sell this painting, and I took it to this art gallery to try and sell it. And the guy came out and looked at it, and he looked at the painting, and he looked at me, and he said, who did this painting? And I said, I did it. He said, I judged this painting in a competition. You know?
Really?
Yeah, he was the judge, right? I didn't know that. And he said, I said, well, I'm trying to sell it. He said, I'm not selling it for you. And I was like, oh, God, he gave it first prize. Why wouldn't he want to sell it? It's got first prize. He goes, I'm not selling it. I went, okay. And I walked out, and I was a bit, you know, peed off. But I've got to tell you, I am so grateful
that you've still got it.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. At the time, I felt a bit peed off at him.
Yeah.
But now I look back and I go, thank you, Judge, for not...
Yeah, saying, no, I'm not selling it.
Yeah, he was actually doing me a huge favour, because I've got it on my wall now, and it's a constant reminder that you don't know what's coming. That's right. You know, and I love that painting. I'm so glad I never sold it.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're right here. We can never know where the consequences of events that appear bad for us will lead us. Yeah. So you must try to be an observer in those times rather than a victim.
That's exactly right. And that's a constant reminder to me when I look at that is something bad happens, don't just be an observer of something bad that's happened. Don't be a victim, because you've got no idea what's coming. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to go through those bad things for something wonderful to happen around the corner, you know, and that's happened, you know, a few times in my life.
Well, I'm glad you still have your fish painting
Yeah.
because that's obviously tells lots of little stories.
Yep.
Yeah. So in 2015, you had kidney cancer.
Yep.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Well, I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, but I didn't listen to my doctor, thankfully, because I did have a kidney stone a few years earlier, and he said, "Oh, you've got to drink, 2 litres of water." I'm like, 2 litres of water, like I'd been drowning and so I never did it. I probably drank about half a litre or a litre, and a few years later, I got a really bad kidney stone, and I went in an ambulance to the hospital, and they said, "Oh, look, you've got a kidney stone, but we've got some bad news, and you've got kidney cancer as well." And it was lucky, because if you don't know you've got kidney cancer, by the time they find out, it's too late. But luckily, I got that kidney stone from not drinking enough water, and they were able to see that I had a kidney cancer there. So I was able to go and get it removed up at Peter Mac in Melbourne, which was fantastic. They had a thing there called the Da Vinci robot. Have you ever seen that?
No.
The surgeon doesn't operate on you on the table. He operates on you from a computer screen. And this Da Vinci robot's got like 8 arms. It's like an octopus with scalpels and stuff in it, and that goes in and operates to the most, really... I mean, that was back into... It must be even more accurate today. But back in 2015, you Google the Da Vinci robot, it looks like something out of a science fiction movie.
Goodness.
And he was able to get rid of about a third of that kidney, and it hasn't come back again.
Fantastic.
But it did make me realise, that was instrumental in my transition, because I realised, hey, this is your life, You can go at any time. You've just got to live your life how you want to, and it doesn't matter. Once again, even though you think you don't care what people think, it really doesn't matter what people think now.
Absolutely.
Because I could have been dead, and I've got a second. It was a second chance.
Yeah. And how good is it to have a second chance?
Yeah, and that's another one of those things of you don't know, something bad, like you think getting kidney cancer is bad, but it turned out to be a really fantastic thing, because it's made me appreciate life more. It's freed me up to do whatever I want to do. It's given me a second chance at life, and having that feeling of a second chance is an incredible feeling. It's an incredible feeling.
And, all these incredible things are happening for you now. You've transitioned on the niche how many years ago?
Well, since about 2015. So.
Yeah, so that's sort of when that all happened. Yep. And then you say in your blog story it was in 2022 where you sort of got back into the guitar again and started to... really delve into your passion, and you're obviously been doing it ever since. Yeah, well, I
just used to play on my 9-string guitar at home, just twiddle away, not even sing that much. And then I thought, I've got to get out. I've got to get out. I'd just finished a long-term relationship that sort of ended, and I thought, I've got to get out, I've got to play music, I've got to sing. And that's when I discovered the Sound Bar and went down there on one of their open mic nights in the middle of winter and went, this is fantastic. I'd driven past that place for years and never gone in. Looked at it and saw it, but I went down there and everyone was so welcoming there.
Yeah, such a great vibe, isn't it? Yeah, very inclusive, very welcoming.
Yeah.
Great team that run. Beth and Paul are amazing. Their team incredible. Are so wonderful.
What they've created there is fantastic, and it's a precious thing. It really is. I don't know if a lot of people realise that, but what they've created in the Sound Bar there is a really precious thing, special.
Absolutely. And tell us about what's precious to you there on a Wednesday night. You've picked up you're hosting pretty much now the open mic night, and also you had with the Battle of the Bands, you also took over the engineering side of it and helped in that area. So since walking into the Sound Bar and finding like your second home, all these amazing things have flourished for you there by the sounds of it.
Well, Eden asked me if I'd take over the running of the open mics, because I do love it. I used to just love going to the open mics and listening. I was there from the start to the finish, just listening to every act, because I love listening to all the...
It's a great night.
Yeah, and not only just to listen to them to enjoy them, but also you learn things from watching people perform as well,
for sure.
And Eden asked me if I'd take over the open mic, and I thought, I'm doing all this other stuff. Do I really want it? I thought, no, just go yes, just do it. And I'm so glad I said yes, because I love helping people, and it's reminded me of what the work I used to do, running similar nights over in Margaret River. And
so good.
I just love that whole mixing thing, and then Beth asked me if I'd do the Battle of the Bands mixing, and I loved that as well. You know, I just...
And you also featured on the 4th of October.
Yeah, well, that was like I said,
Yeah.
that was the first time my name's been on a poster for about 25 years. Just to see my name on a poster, like,
Oh,
wow,
how exciting.
Yeah, it was good. It was
yeah,
good.
it's so cool.
You know, because I mean, I used to plaster posters everywhere back in the day, you know, with my name on it. But just to see it on a poster again, I'm like, oh, you know, that's a good
amazing.
feeling. Yeah. I've got it stuck up on my fridge at home.
It's so good. I'm so happy that you've found your place and where you feel like, it is like your second home. You just, see you there. I've been a couple of times on a Wednesday night, and I know I've gone on my own, and it's been, it's so easy just to show up on your own, and that's what I love about that place. But I see you fluffing around, getting things organised and getting ready, and, just doing what you do, and yeah, you're really in your element. And the last time I was there, you got up on stage and you were just playing your guitar. It was wild, the most amazing way. Like, it was like,
that's
whoa,
the bass guitar,
like,
see?
how talented are you?
That's the bass guitar. When I play the bass guitar, that's a whole nother side of me.
And everyone was like, "More, Miss Corina, we want more." Miss Corina, another one.
Yeah, well, we did do one, because I was Nick was playing guitar and Lara was playing the drums, and the crowd's going, do another one. And Lara said to me, well, you must have lots of songs. And I thought, yeah, but I actually what I love most about songs is making them up on the spot. I love that birthing moment of songs. I said, let's just make something up. And we made up that song, and Nathan recorded the end of it where I was sort of interacting with the crowd. It was so spontaneous, and the words I was singing were just off the top of my head, and that's special to me. Those things, the creation, when something's created, when you're not regurgitating something or repeating something that you've sung before, but you're actually making up something new on the spot, that's life, That's something being born, and I love that feeling.
And that's what you write in your blog story about when you write your music.
Yep.
Tell us what you do.
Yeah, well, as soon as I get an idea, I know through experience now, I record it straight away on my phone. Mm-hmm. I don't muck around with it and try and get it better, because sometimes getting it better makes it worse, and you go, oh, how did it sound? And so as soon as I get it, and sometimes I'm worried, I'm going, this sounds good, quick, where's my phone? Oh, where's my phone? You're struggling because you don't want to forget what you were just doing.
Yeah.
But recording on the exact moment that you get it is a good base to come back to. If it ever starts sounding bad in the future, you can go back to that original recording and go, oh, that little riff, I was playing it a little bit differently to how I'm playing it now, and that was the good bit of it. So yeah, that's recording on your phone these days is easy for doing that sort of thing, and I highly recommend it to any
Well, for all you musicians out there who are listening, that's a great tip. In the moment.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to have another Miss Corina moment. The next song, Portsea Back Beach.
Yep.
Tell us about this. I was trying to work out who you were taking there, or who didn't like it so much.
Well, no, the thing is, that's actually made up.
Oh.
Yeah, I love Portsea.
Yeah.
And I love the beach. But, especially you go down there in the middle of winter, it can be, freezing. Like the wind's blowing, it's like ice blowing into your face. And I thought, there'll be some people that really can't stand this, they can't stand the cold wind. Like,
true.
Get me out of here. And so I wanted to write a song about Portsea, and I thought, let's just write a song that I've met someone and I'm taking them to Portsea Beach and they can't stand it, but I love it. And so that's what made me write that song. And I thought, hey, it's time someone wrote a song about Portsea, so there you go, I've done it.
Well, here we go. Portsea Back Beach. Miss Corina's other song. Enjoy.
I thought I was gonna take you to the back beach called Portsea. I didn't know how you'd take it with the cold wind in your face. But now I know you don't like it, you don't care for Portsea. Yeah, now I know you don't like it, you don't care for Portsea, me. You don't care for Portsea. Potsy on me. You don't care for Potsy on me. I don't know why I bothered. I guess I just like Potsy, yeah. Seems like when I'm down there ain't nothing I don't mind. Rock pulls the sun into the sea for free. A feeling I belong. Seabirds soaring overhead. Down under London Bridge we go. But now I know you don't like that. You don't care for that fresh, cold Potsy air. Yeah, now I know you don't like it. You don't care for Potsy on me. You don't care for Potsy on me. You don't care for Potsy on me. But now I know why I like it. Why I love that fresh, cold Potsy air. Yeah, now I know why I love it. Now I know that Potsy's for me. Potsy's for me.
You're listening to The Daily Mirror with Cathy Vescio-Dibella on RPPFM.
Yes, welcome back. Potsy Back Beach, another one of Miss Corina's songs. Thank you once again for sharing all this music. Quickly, the album covers, the picture, did you draw that?
No, I didn't. That was a drawing that my father got commissioned for his restaurant, the Tum Tum Tree in Fremantle in the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know who the artist was, but it was for an advertisement that he put for his restaurant, and I love the drawing.
Cool. I love it, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know who the artist was, but he got some really nice artwork done for that restaurant.
Beautiful. Love it. It really stands out.
Yeah.
Very nice. So just quickly, Bad Woman was one of the first songs I got introduced to from you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really quite a strong song with a lot of really good messages in that song. Tell us a little bit about Bad Woman.
Well, that was a song that I made up on the spot.
Again?
Again, on the spot. Like there was an effect on my effects pedal that said Desert Ranger, and I had a really nice desert sound, and so I played a couple of chords, and I just made up the first line that went, they say Desert Ranger, and I thought, that sounds good, and I pressed record and just came up with the words and the chords and everything on the fly and got to the end of it, and I got to the end and I went, oh my God, that might be a whole song, I thought, surely not, I'll have to come back and do something to it. And I woke up the next morning, listened to it again, I went, I just made up a whole song off the spot. And the best I've ever played that song was that time.
Really?
I had to go back and go, what were the chords I was playing? What were the song lyrics I was singing? Write it all down. And I've tried to get it as good as that first moment. And it's like that with most of my songs, it's the inspirational moment that has the magic in it.
I think you have the magic in you in more ways than one, and I'm glad that we got to share a lot of your story today. We could be talking for hours because there's so much more to talk about. But where can people find your music, download your music? Tell us quickly how people can, listen to more of Miss Corina.
Well, the best way is to go down to the Sound Bar on a Wednesday for the open mic, and you'll see me. I'm usually playing there. for 15 minutes every Wednesday. But other than that, they can go to my Instagram is Miss Corina Music. So that's Corina is Corina, Miss Corina Music. And on Facebook, it's Lovely Miss Corina. And on Spotify, it's just Miss Corina.
Love it.
So that's where they'll find me. And I'm on Tidal, all those streaming platforms. I'm on all of them.
Yes.
And I've only just started uploading my music now, though. Nathan's been not hassling me, but I'd say encouraging me to do that. And so I'm doing it for your
Good.
show.
I'm glad you did.
Starting to do it.
And you should. Yeah, share your music with the world.
Yeah.
And thank you, Nathan, for introducing me to all these wonderful people to come and join me on my platform. He's amazing, Nath. Yeah, love
fantastic.
Nath. We all love Nath. And we love the Soundbar. So, yes, please go and watch Miss Corina and everyone else perform at the Soundbar on a Wednesday night.
It's a great night.
Aside from Wednesday night, there's so much going on at the Soundbar. So thank you so much again. I have one question, and it is at the Daily Mirror. Miss Corina, how do you feel when you look at yourself in the Daily Mirror?
I'll tell you what, now when I look at myself, I just have a feeling like a sigh of relief. I look in the Daily Mirror and I go, I have that.
Breathe.
I have that feeling. I'm looking at me now, how I am since I transitioned. I breathe a sigh of relief and I go,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Nice.
It's a great feeling.
Love it. Love that. And what a wonderful message to finish up on. Thank you so much, Miss Corina. It's been an absolute pleasure. Next week, I have Brittany Holt, the girl who manifested a tour, the power of being delusional and why believing in yourself is the key to success. That's true, right?
That is true.
My name is Cathy. This is the Daily Mirror. My hope is that when you're looking at yourself in the Daily Mirror, you smile, take 10 minutes in your day to nourish your soul, and just keep being kind to yourself and others. Until next week, have a great week, everyone.